Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everyone? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. Now, if you've been enjoying the content of the channel, go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you're new and want to stay updated on some great Philly content, well, be sure to hit that subscribe. Now, today, I want to talk about Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, Jadeveon Clowney, the guy who sent Carson Wentz out in the playoffs. That Jadeveon Clowney. We all know who he is. 27 years old, a former number 1 overall pick out of South Carolina. The guy's been a 3-time Pro Bowler after having, I would say, a couple rough years to start his career. He's definitely ramped it up. He is a very good defensive end. He's played his whole career with the Texans and then 1 year last year with the Seattle Seahawks, as us Eagles fans should know. Now, apparently, the Eagles have pursued interest in Jadeveon Clowney. As you can see on the screen right here, the Eagles are one of 5 teams, which include the Seahawks, the Browns, the Ravens, the Titans, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic, the radio station, Adam Schefter was on and said that the Eagles' interest isn't anything crazy in Jadeveon Clowney, but, Clowney wants this to appear like a lot of teams are interested in him so that he can have a lot of leverage. Now, in the beginning of the offseason, Clowney has been asking for 6 years, $120 million, $20 million in that range each year. As time has went on, we have seen not a lot of teams interested in paying that price for him. So I'm sure it's gone down a little bit. I would say, if I was guessing, he would probably end up getting around $17, $18 million a year. I think a team who has a big need at that position will go ahead and pay him. But I'm here today to ask you guys, and let me know down below, should the Eagles pursue Jadeveon Clowney? Should they go and make an offer and make a big splash and go ahead and acquire a big name like Jadeveon Clowney? Now, I will go ahead and give my opinion. I would ultimately say no, and there are multiple reasons why, as we will get into. The number one deals with Jadeveon's money situation, the contract. Like I've been saying, $20 million a year, that's what he's asking for. I think he'll get about $18 million a year. Only way I would see it possible for the Eagles going out and getting Clowney is if it ended up dropping to like $14 or $15 million a year, but I don't see that happening. I think it is a lot of money. Now, the Eagles had $27 million, just over $27 million heading into the NFL draft. And, when they have to pay the draft picks and all that, they'll probably end up, having less than that, a couple million less. I personally think that with the Eagles being projected to go over the cap next year in 2021, we have to preserve what we can. And I still think Howie's not done. I think he's going to go out and acquire a couple more pieces in free agency. Clowney is a hefty price. And, in terms of paying him this big money to come here when we have a pretty loaded defensive line as it is, I'm not going to say it's ultimately the best, but it's definitely up there right now in terms of the top, defensive lines in the league. I think this is a hefty price, and I don't know if Howie wants to go out and pay this guy close to $20 million a year, especially with our cap situation as it is. So that's the number one thing. I think he's definitely going to be expensive, but one of these other teams, that are lacking his kind of prowess on the line in the trenches, even though the Eagles always value the trenches, I think another team that has a need is going to end up paying him a little bit, at the premium. The number two thing, and I kind of mentioned this, is depth, right? The Eagles have a loaded defensive line. Whether it's Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox. Now we went out and signed Javon Hargrave. Him and Cox are going to be a great duo together. And then you look at who else we have. We still have Malik Jackson, who only played not even a game, and he's coming back healthy, right? We have Josh Sweat. We have Hassan Ridgeway, Jannard Avery, all these guys together. I think the Eagles are loaded on the defensive line. And like I said, we always value the trenches. We can never have enough. If Jadeveon Clowney were to come, I guess, well, obviously he would be playing the end. I'm guessing Brandon Graham would have to then be a backup because I wouldn't see Clowney obviously being a backup. I don't know what his role would be. I don't know if he would be satisfied with his role, but what I do know is that the Eagles have a lot of talent, and we went and picked up Barnett's 5th-year option. We have Graham under contract for next year as well. It's going to get pretty hefty in terms of the price tags, right? We're going to be, spending a lot of capital in terms of our defensive line, and I don't know if we want to go ahead and add Clowney, given what we already have. I mean, our line would be insane with Clowney. I'm not denying that he wouldn't make the Eagles a better team. But you have to look at risk and reward. He could get hurt. He could end up not performing as well. He could end up drawing more double teams, even though it might open up Fletcher Cox and Hargrave. Who knows? And going to my third point now, and this is his personality. Would he be happy with his role, right? We know Jadeveon Clowney. In my opinion, this is one of the deciding factors. I don't like the guy, okay? I don't. He's a dirty player. 2 years in a row, he has delivered dirty hits to the Philadelphia Eagles, whichever way you want to look at it, right? And I'm not denying he's a good football player. He is. But he's a dirty football player. Do the Eagles want to bring that type of player into the environment? He had the blow to Nick Foles 2 years ago when we were going on that run and we beat the Texans, who were a pretty good team at the time. Jadeveon Clowney took offense to that. And then this past year, we know what happened. It really sucks. And it's personal for me. I really take it personal because of how I support Carson Wentz and having a great season, staying healthy the whole season, putting the guys on your back, showing us that you're a leader, taking the division title, even though we all thought the season was over, around that Miami Dolphins game kind of time, I take it personal when we have a chance to go and advance in the playoffs and my quarterback is finally proving himself, even though, everyone's still trying to doubt him now. And I guess it's fair, even though I thought that was a cheap shot, which any quarterback for the most part would get hurt on. But you go ahead and deliver that kind of blow and it pretty much put the Eagles out and our season was done. I take offense to that. I don't believe I would like that guy with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he even talked after the game and said, Eagles fans are the worst fans in the world. He was trying to play the victim, even though he was the one that took a cheap shot at Carson Wentz and sent him out of the game. And like I said, it's been 2 years in a row. It wasn't just a fluke, wasn't just a lucky thing. He's been known to be that kind of dude. How would he accept his role in Philadelphia if he's not being that dominant presence that he wants? What if he doesn't get as much money as he wants? How is he going to act? Overall, as a collective unit, when you say things about Philadelphia like that and the fans and you act a certain way, me personally, even though he would make us a better team, when you look at the price tag and look at what he's done and how he is, me personally, I would not go ahead and pay Jadeveon Clowney. I think there are other options out there that we can provide for depth, and I already think that we will be a solid defensive line given the people that we have. I'm not too big on Jadeveon Clowney. There are certain guys in the league I don't like, and he is definitely one of them after what he has done to the Philadelphia Eagles. But you guys can let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? Is it worth going out and paying a guy like Jadeveon Clowney in the $18 to $20 million a range per year? Is it worth it? Would he make the Eagles better? Should Howie Roseman and the Eagles go out and try to make a splash for Jadeveon Clowney? Let me know all your thoughts down below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.